Well, hello, and welcome to the Legacy Insights Podcast. And I am your host, Mov'n Mike, Money Mike, and this is episode number 9. Fired and laid off. This is what it's all about. Are you tired? Are you frustrated? This is what's happening. I'm your host, Mov'n Money Mike, and this has been a rough day today. It has been really a rough day, but we're coming in live because this is what it's all about. Showing up and showing out. Today's episode is going to really be talking about like being frustrated, tired, and you know what? To be honest, right? It has really been a rough week. It has really been a rough week. It's been a rough start. And today is a perfect example of it. Okay. We're here to discuss entrepreneurship and the strategies to guide you to your goals and dreams. Simply put, we're going to provide insight to get your mind and your money right. So it's time to let's get smarter. You know, this episode here, frustrated, tired, don't quit now, is exactly where I'm at. And I'm going to share it because like life just keeps happening. Life just keeps showing up, right? Moments before the show, there was just straight chaos, right? Here at the studio, here just before production and got started and settling in to what we have to deliver today. So we're going to jump right to it, right? The reality check. I got my trusty show notes here, and many people start the year off motivated, sharp, determined, and what happens by month 3, 4 is hitting you from every angle. And I'm here to testify that's how I'm feeling, right? I'm not immune to what happens in life because life be lifing. And this is what's happening. Frustrated, tired, discouraged, questioning if the grind is worth it. And I can say it is. I did not come this far. You did not do all the work you put in to say, call it quits before you've reached your goals and your dreams. That's not what we do. That's not how this goes, right? We keep showing up. Quitting now guarantees one thing. Your future will stay exactly the same. Now, I got to take my own advice. Like I said, just before I hit let's go live, total chaos. But you got to regroup. You got to get, and the show must go on. That includes you too. Show must go on. When Tuesday morning, well, not to even say Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, and you really ain't feeling going in, you got to pull yourself together and make it happen. Season 1 Legacy Insights has laid out some financial survival and success blueprints. I'm going to share those with you today. And this is kind of like the highlights reel, right? So some of the most powerful lessons in season 1 and, past episodes. So this is a fast track for tonight. Okay, we're going to jump right into it because, like I said, life be lifing. So one of the first truths that I want to discuss with you is why people never get taught how money really works. And they don't get taught how money works in schools, and they just don't teach it, right? They don't teach investing, compounding interest, credit management, and wealth protection. We already know this, right? That's that financial literacy part that I talk about, and that people already know what they do know and what they don't know, right? About schools not giving the foundational skills that they need to leave and go out into the world and do what they need to do, right? So the financial IQ part is that now that you know what's not happening, you can do something about it. So without financial IQ, people make emotional money decisions, and that really causes a lot of panic, right? So the best advice from these past episodes is what I'm going to be covering: how to understand money and how it grows, understand debt versus productive leverage, and know the difference between income and wealth, because they are two different things. So that's the pillar number one: learn. If you don't learn about money, someone else will learn how to take it from you. That's just simply put, right? So what does it take to break you was one of the best episodes that you can go back and recap. Okay, what does it take to break you? Because it talks about those types of instances, right? So like I said, it was chaos before I just hit that live button just now, right? And it had me out of rhythm. You could tell when I first came on the camera, it's like just boom, right? I don't do the editing. I don't do this is me. This is what it is, right? What you see is what you get. I'm giving it to you raw so that you know this is my true authentic self. Right? There's no there's no shade, there's no fakeness, right? If I'm having a bad day and it's showing up, it's because that's what it was a moment, right? But you got to shake that off and keep it moving, right? So life throws you some financial punches, right? Mike Tyson's favorite line: everybody's a tough guy until they get punched in the face, right? Right? Hey, life throws some financial punches too: job loss, debt, divorce, medical bills, right? Unexpected emergencies, right? Many people fall apart financially because they never built a resilience system. Okay, so what is a resilient systems? That's just really just being prepared, right? Something that's going to give you some financial fortitude to go through it. Best advice from this episode is emotional discipline, okay? Because money and emotions don't mix, right? You have husband and wife couples. You have two best friends, right? And they have this business arrangement. The husband and wife are the best friends or whatever, right? They have this business arrangement, but they let that financial, the emotional friendship or the marital love get in with the business, and it just tears them apart, right? Because some people cannot separate the two, and then we need some financial planning, right? You need to know that there's a strategy in place, no matter how you feel about it, that you can go forward, because that in money and emotion get mixed in. You got to have some emotional discipline, and then you got to have those clear goals, right? So that's some of the best recap from that one show, right? You must control your response to setbacks, right? So this is pillar number 6, you, right? It all comes down to you. Your mindset is the engine behind your money. Wealth building is 80% behavior and discipline, right? So we talk about emotional maturity, financial IQ, the application of financial principles. That's what we're talking about here. So being prepared is the only battle. That was one of the episodes that I put out, because it's really the only battle. They say being prepared is half the battle. No, it's the only battle, right? You hear these sayings, but you've got to make sure that you take them in its full context of what it really means, right? Being prepared doesn't mean that you do it halfway. No, you better be prepared with a backup plan to the backup plan. Sometimes you better have a backup to the backup, right? Just because of what's happening. There's so many things happening. I put out the episode just last week, Liar, Liar, Economy on Fire, right? I did that episode because, right, we're being told we should not believe what we see, what we feel, what we spend our money on isn't really what is happening. It's not good. It's not good. People, when people tell you, oh no, it doesn't cost that much. Inflation is down, gas is down, right? Up 70 cents since last week. Okay, so your mindset is the engine behind your money. Wealth building is 80% behavior and discipline, right? And being prepared is the only battle. So one of the strongest lessons in this from that episode was emergencies are not surprises. They are guarantees. So they're coming. You know about when they say there's feast and famine, and it's a time to harvest and it's a time to sow. So just in that alone, you know that at some point you got to be planting so you can harvest, and you know that once you pull that reap the harvest, there's going to be a feast. But if you don't plan right, you will reach it, go into famine because you've been foolish with the feast, right? So it's no surprise that emergencies are going to come. That's truly what this boils down to. So the only question really is, are you prepared? The financial IQ that I've always mentioned, right? So every family should do these things: have emergency savings, life insurance protection, income replacement strategies, and basic estate planning. So what are those things? What are some of those things? Okay, just talk about them. Financial stress comes from lack of preparation. So that's the guard. That's pillar number 3, right? Protect what you build. You can't build wealth while consistently losing money to crisis. So I said there's 3 places people can live, and 2 of them people constantly stay at. So the 3 places are crisis, comfort, and success. Most people stay between crisis and comfort, the first 2. Why is that? Because comfort is the biggest killer of success, right? Even if you have like a great restaurant and you have great food, right? You get in there after a few months of great service, great food. Guess what? They start slacking off because they know they're a hit. Wow, I can just do this, and they're going to come and show up anyway, right? And after a while, the food don't taste so good. Why is that? Because they got lax, they got comfortable, right? They thought and felt that they weren't going to ever, go down in quality, but it happens. Okay, so you got to constantly protect what you've built, right? So the next recap that we want to cover here is the one episode I did was At Your Wage. At your wage, right? A lot of people tend to overlive and overextend their budgets or their income. They have more month than they do have money because they're recklessly spending. Okay, they're not preparing for the famine, right? Because they're always in the feast mindset. Let's go into this, right? One of the most relatable episodes that I gave was this one here. Millions of Americans struggle financially, right? Not because they earn too little, but because they spend too much trying to impress others. And that's really a shame, because there are ways. Just think about it. Our parents did more with less than what we are making today. Now, of course, there was different time and economical challenges. Things are totally different in that respect, but they knew what it was to tighten up their belt straps and focus on providing food and the necessities so that they could have what the family needed to get through to the next time. Today it's a whole lot different. There's a whole lot of retailing going on. Niceties over necessities. Okay. Common mistakes: luxury cars, designer brands on credit, lifestyle inflation, right? Retail minded, I was talking about it, and social media comparison. Everybody's got to be a baller, right? I know you ladies have to have, certain things when it comes to your appearances, right? And some guys, you need clothing, right? We need clothing. Guys don't do a whole lot with the makeup and the things of that nature, but there are some things that you can get by without. Okay. And like we see a lot. We see what's going on in social media. We see how it's happening out there, right? So we want to tone that down so that we can, live greater later. Okay, so the best advice from this episode: of actual wage was live below your means while building your assets. Your goal should be own assets before you flex lifestyle. Goes without being said, right? Well, I have to say it because a lot of people are missing the mark, right? Because they want to look like something so that they can attract attention, so that people think they got it going on. So even to do it in business, right? I would say that there's a whole lot more I could do in the form of production and getting the information out. But those are things that can be built upon as we grow, right? You don't want to spend $1 million in production or a couple grand, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in production, right? And now I got to fight my way back out of that hole, right? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right? What I want to do is bring you value at the level that I'm at so that we can all grow together, right? And you need to do that same thing in your home, right? Have the conversations with your family about like what it is that you need to do as a unit, as a tribe, so that you can get your mind and your money right there, right? So this is connected to pillar number 4, which is alignment. Right. That's what I believe, that pillar 4, align is one of the most valuable pillars in the legacy framework. Right. You must align with your long-term goals. What are you really trying to accomplish here? Right. What are you really trying to accomplish here? So this also falls in line with the previous episode of fired, quit, laid off, do this now. Right. Huge episode for those of you who have fallen on hard times because of the economics that are taking place in the country, right? If you've been fired, laid off, or quit because of a situation, go back to that episode, do this now, so that you can get your mind and your money right. Because in that episode, I laid out some strategies on what to do, not to act emotionally, but to be prepared to move forward, right? To prepare you. So this episode will resonate with those of you who have experienced this, just because it's an unexpected job loss. And the worst thing you could do is panic, right? So here's some points from that episode. When it comes down to income disappearing, right? First thing you gotta do is stay calm. I told you, emotional and money don't mix. Emotion and money don't mix. You got to think out a strategy, right? And this strategy is laid out in this episode, right? It talks about inventorying all of your financial resources, cutting your expenses immediately, so that whatever subscriptions or things that you may have, people have car wash subscriptions, streaming subscriptions, just about anything nowadays you can get on a subscription, right? Cut them off. Stop it. You got spa treatment subscriptions. If you got and you go and get facials and weekly and monthly massages, you can't afford them now, right? You can always go back to them, right? Or you can possibly pause them, right? That's might be something that you can do. You want to create temporary income streams. Okay, that's pillar number 2 is elevate, right? You want to get some additional skills. You want to get some upskilling going on. You want to create additional income by side hustles, right? And then like I said, upgrade your skills, right? And that's that pillar number 2, elevate. Income security today requires continuous skill growth. I'm constantly learning more and getting additional input from mentors, right? Going to seminars, taking classes, right? So that I can be a better individual, better informed individual, to bring that information back here and share it with you, right? Because even when life is lifing, right? You just got to keep going. You got to keep going no matter what happens, right? Because what else are you going to do? You going to lay down and quit? Never been my style. Okay. So here it is. This is the legacy framework recap. So in season 1, we gave listeners a complete blueprint for financial growth. You got to go back to these previous episodes, plug into them, right? You go back to the Legacy Insights podcast on YouTube. You hit that subscribe button. You listen to those past episodes. You take notes, and then you apply these nuggets to your life so that you can get your mind and your money right. That's what this show is all about. That's why I come here every week. I put it out regardless, right? No matter what's going on, I got to deliver. Whether I'm tired, frustrated, right? I got to show up, right? No matter when life is lifing, got to show up. So here are the 6 pillars recap for that legacy framework. The first one is learn. Build financial knowledge. That's the first thing you got to do. That's that literacy. Make sure that you know what you know, right? Because a lot of times people are talking, they don't really know what they're talking about. Okay? They really don't know what they're talking about. So until you've actually got the knowledge and applied it and see what has come back and is working, that's when you've truly learned, right? Number 2, elevate, increase income in your skills. That's huge, huge. Because once you learn it, then you got to apply it so that it can raise you up. Guard, pillar number 3, protects assets and family. What you building it for if you're not going to protect it? Oh, I don't believe in life insurance. Well, life insurance is not a religion. It's a tool. The asset protecting tool. Your family is the most valuable asset that you have. Protect it. Protect your income, protect the home, protect, the dog, whatever it is, right? Nobody's going to take your dog without, you providing some income to carry the dog, right? Think about this. This is not just suggested, just me telling you what to do. These are strongly suggested measures and strategies to get your mind and your money right, to building a legacy, okay? Number 4, control spending and lifestyle. Again, money and emotion don't mix. You want to make sure that you have a destination for every dollar. Okay? You got to make sure you have that, right? Then pillar number 5, change, upgrade beliefs and habits. It's a constant reaffirmation of your skills, your confidence, and your lifestyle. And how you get confidence is by you seeing your development and your growth growing. That's why I'm constantly taking courses and being around other people who are more successful than me, so that I can have the confidence to keep showing up when life be lifing, right? No matter what's going on around me, right? Experience it, feel it, let it go, pick it up and grow. That's what we're talking about here. Pillar number 6, you. It comes down to you and me. Okay? If you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to keep getting what you always got. So if you like where you are, then you're good. But if you're not, then it's something that you need to change so that you can get more of who you're supposed to be. Okay? So you got to take this personal responsibility into your future. So I'm going to tell you, if you commit to these pillars, these 6 pillars that I just shared with you, they can transform your financial trajectory. Okay? They're a simple framework to building a legacy. See, so make sure that when you go to the YouTube and you go to the Legacy Insights podcast and you hit that subscribe button, make sure that you have pen and paper with you and you're taking down some of these notes. It's just common sense things that you should be hearing, listening to, and applying to your lives daily. Okay, so in closing, this is a legacy message for you. If you're frustrated, if you're tired, if you're discouraged, remember something. Legacy builders don't quit. We don't quit. People like you and I, we don't quit. They adjust, they learn, they grow, and they keep moving forward. Okay? Your future family legacy is watching what you do right now. So stay focused, stay disciplined, and keep building. Because quitting is the only guaranteed way to lose. I'm your host, Mov'n Mike. This is the Legacy Insights podcast. I want to thank you for the privilege of your time. Every Sunday night at 7 p.m. live right here. Have a good night, and I see you in the comments.